Hey, it's Two-Siders. Welcome back to another Against the Storm episode. What would you do if a fat beaver man with a weird robot-looking thing came up to you and said, well, if you win by year 9 with 3 level 3 Hearths, for the rest of the cycle I will give you Crystallized Dew. I'll tell you what I did. I accepted the quest, and whether I was successful or not, you'll have to watch until the end of this episode. It seems easy, but you need more than just materials for 3 level 3 Hearths. It's important that we do this quest because the Crystallized Dew will help us out a great deal for our up-and-coming Cobalt Seal. Not to mention the future settlements that we'll do in this cycle. It will be useful to create fox houses, so I really want to get this done. Playing on Prestige 9, villagers work slower on events. This is the first time I played on Prestige 9, so as always I'm a bit finicky with my choices. Now, we started with 11 foxes, kind of getting a Fox Utopia vibe from another video that we did a couple of weeks back on the secondary channel, where we achieved Fox Utopia. The Fox ability reveals to us that there's a Drizzle Gazier right next to us, which is awesome. That's the best water type in the game. And we also start with some insects, a resource that is not reproducible. So I'm kind of chuffed about it. Even though foxes don't really require insects, the water is going to be really nice for the porridge that they do eat. Now, I'm going to be honest, these are some awesome initial building blueprints. And I'm such a basic bitch, I cannot pick the ranch or the fishing hut. I'm just gonna go with the workshop because I really like that we don't have to pick other blueprints to produce these materials at a high enough rate. All of these options, or both the middle options, are really good too because well, never mind, the distillery was recently changed, guys, so it doesn't offer porridge anymore, but the tea house does. So the tea house... Wait, no, the tea house was also changed. What am I talking about? Two-Siders, are you okay? So I was gonna say that both of these offer porridge, but neither of them do, and luckily neither of them do because we do get the beanery, the only 3-star porridge option in the entire game that we're gonna pick over the lumber mill, because again, we have the carpenter, which is fine. I don't want to pick a 3-star plank option. This map is not too bad for wood, it's not like the sealed forest. So already from the get-go, awesome blueprints. These corner stores are nothing to write home about either. So I will do something that I've never done before. And it's not slowly pleasuring the Spices cornerstone on the screen. It's actually picking the Spices cornerstone that will give us a bunch of root and spice production. Remember, the farm building that we brought with us as an embarkation bonus was in fact the herb garden that will produce these two resources at a good rate. However, the reason why it's a weird option to pick is because we don't have humans or beavers, right? Why would we produce 75 biscuits or more than 75 biscuits for the herb and spice production? We only have foxes, but you know, there's a high chance that we get either humans or beavers, and either way, I guess we can just experiment a little bit with the game. The field kitchen is also able to produce biscuits, which is awesome. So now we just need a building to produce flour for us. Now, when it comes to the orders, we do get a couple timed order choices that I'm just going to ignore. To be honest with you, I said this in the community before, but the orders where you have to cut into like 5 glades in 10 minutes or cut into X glades in X minutes, whatever, are such a trap. Maybe I'm just playing the game wrong, but they always make me... They push my settlement so close to losing, just cutting into so many glades for no reason at all. Just increases hostility. It doesn't really help us. Yes, if you have some really specialized gathering stuff and you get lucky and you get exactly that type of resource, then sure, it's fine. But cutting into glades early, ignoring like 80% of those resources that you cut into, not really a good game plan. And we're gonna have a game soon on the channel. I think I'm gonna make a video on it, or I might not, where We play in a Scarlet Orchard, and this is, I actually do a quest like this at like the first year, the second year, where we cut into like 5 glades to get some awesome whatever perks and cornerstones for it. Was it worth it? Ooh, that's hard to say, really. It did push us back quite a bit with that hostility. And of course, all these orders, you cut into 5 glades, 4 of them are gonna be small glades, right? And you don't want to cut into small glades ever. You want to cut into dangerous and forbidden glades only. You only want to cut into small glades when, like, the Fox ability that we just had shows you that we have something there, okay? So all these cut into 5 glades orders are kind of sucky. I wish it was something more like, which is kind of cool. There are orders where you have to cut into 2 dangerous glades within 3 minutes of each other, which is kind of cool. But then again, at this really high prestige level, all the events are much harder to do, and they really are much harder to do. I don't remember if they require more resources, but they take like twice as much time. So even with foxes, you cannot push it back down to the pre-prestige levels of doing glade events. So you kind of have to respect glade events at this point, and it's definitely a challenge for sure. The other races that we have, actually kind of good. Beavers, so we have our first biscuit-eating species, and we also have frogs. Frogs are difficult to please. However, frog hearthkeepers, as you can see, I instantly assigned a frog hearthkeeper instead of a fox one, will get us newcomers twice as fast, so they are really good to have. You can also upgrade frog houses to level 3, which will snowball generate more resources every year. So definitely a difficult race to please, but they have some really awesome abilities. Now we have some cornerstones that are so long to read, it feels like I'm doing like a Yu-Gi-Oh card review. Family Gratitude, getting water skins for Resolve, it's something I never pick pretty much, because I want to have a more consistent way to get those containers, like making pottery or even just barrels, okay? It would be good to get the containers, because both beavers and foxes require container for their pickled goods. And something I found out only 2 days ago, pickled goods actually gives +8 resolve. So in case you didn't know, different foods give different amounts of resolve. So easier to make foods like porridge only give like 4, whereas for whatever reason pickled goods is 8. It's such a weird... I like that paste is 6, but pickled goods being 8 seems a bit overpowered, but whatever. As you saw, we picked up the tea house, or sorry, the tea doctor. That is a fox only service. It's one of my favorite service buildings. It will give us 1 global resolve bonus for every 200 complex food satisfied within our villagers. So food will be the paramount thing to satisfy in this settlement. We pick the overexploitation perk, or rather cornerstone, that will increase all gathering and yeah, it's only for the gathering speed, unfortunately, by 30%, which is respectable. However, every 40 resource charges that we use up whilst gathering will spawn an extra Blightrot cyst, and that is extremely deadly at this point. At Prestige 9 when we are playing, Blightrot is deadlier. I'm pretty sure even at this point Blightrot is deadlier, and on every 3rd year in the clearance season you get a bunch of Blightrot cysts. Hang on, I will pause the recording. My cat just pooed really... He just did a really smelly poo. Hang on, be right back. Okay, crisis averted, and we just got some fertilizer for the new farms. Let's just find some fertile soil in one of the glades. Now we cut into a dangerous glade, and believe it or not, we find a service building. We already picked a service building, the tea doctor. However, multiple service buildings will be just fine, because if you remember, we have the quest to create 3 level 3 hearths or neighborhoods, and having 1 service building in the vicinity of the hearth is a requirement for the level 3. So Sure, we can just spam the exact same service building 3 times, but that will eat up a lot of resources and not give us anything in return. So having 3 service building blueprints, technically 2 only now that we found another one that is salvageable, being the temple in this dangerous glade up north is not gonna be too bad. So we're looking for another service building possibly at the end of the game, though if we don't get another one it will be also fine to just spam the tea doctor another time. We create a little hub up north. We throw down the farm warehouse, and the warehouse, just another tip for you guys, if you are looking to complete glade events as fast as possible, again something that we really want at this prestige level, throwing down a warehouse next to it will shorten the time that the scouts will have to carry resources, especially if you need, some glade events require so many resources carried back to the glade event itself. So a warehouse next to it will help with that speed. We also want to get at least 6 building material packs, so we can upgrade at least one frog house to level 3, and that will give us 3 packs of building materials in the next drizzle season with the upgrades that we have. Now I've spent the past 20 minutes trying to figure out which building to pick out of these choices. We have the cookhouse that can produce biscuits at a better rate. Again, we need the biscuits for the cornerstone to get more roots and herbs farmed. It can also create dye, which is used for things like coats for the beavers and paste for the frogs, so it's alright, I guess. It's not the most important thing to have dye in this game. So we get an awesome synergy here with leftover crops. For every 10 herbs produced, you get packs of provisions. We pretty much never have to worry about packs of provisions ever again if we pick that one, and we do pick that one. Sometimes, because this is a game that was recorded 3 weeks ago, I don't remember which option I actually picked, so I kind of have to dance around the fact that we might not pick that one, Two-Siders might not have picked that one, but it's a good option because we have beavers, and one of the beaver abilities is that I think you get 1 extra trade route, so provisions can be used for that action. I always had such stupid mics where I have to hold it like in front of my face, otherwise the sound looks bad. I hope it doesn't sound too bad, because I'm always covering my face, and what's more annoying is I'm covering my eyes and the screen. So I just push the microphone down, and hopefully that's not too bad. Now, believe it or not, it's year 3, and I forgot to construct a trading post even at this point, though it's not super important, to be honest. At this point, trading is so expensive that maybe it's the next prestige level, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's already this one. Trading is so expensive. Selling everything costs twice as much, so you get half as much stuff for selling. And the perks that traders offer, that I love, by the way, it's one of my favorite parts of the game, cost twice as much. So technically, for a gamer like me, traders become 4 times as expensive on one of these whatever prestige levels that increases. I should really check the wiki every time, because I've been talking about this for the past like 3 videos. Create like an infograph for myself and share it with you guys. I think I'll do that in the future. An infograph about the what each prestige level entails. But at the same time, it sounds really weird, but I don't want to spoil myself. I don't want to check what the higher than level 14, 15 prestige levels entail, because it's kind of fun to get to the point, oh, I'm gonna do prestige 13 and then 14 and then 15, and get to the point, and that's when you realize what each prestige level makes more difficult about the game. We have some awesome stuff to sell to the trader, being that we found a bunch of tablets, ancient tablets. I'm kind of sad because I'm not sure if I showed it to you, but we paused up on an order where we had to deliver ancient tablets, and I always passed up these orders because ancient tablets are really valuable. I just want to sell them. To be fair, it's much better to just sell them than worry about stupid orders. And the other reason is you pick up an order like that and you might never find an ancient tablet. like one of those cornerstones where you have to do like loyalty missions, and then you might never actually find a loyalty glade event ever. So I pass up on the ancient tablet orders for these two reasons. And the trader that we have offers not really good perks, to be honest. We don't really care about this stuff at all. Some of you might say, oh, two-sided, you didn't know that that perk that was there was actually like the best perk in the game. Maybe, I don't know. So we just get a bunch of containers because we want to get those pickled goods. There still isn't a good way for us to create or gather clay. I guess you could have put some clay there, but I don't really remember. I don't think we have. Yeah, there was. I don't think we have a way to create pottery, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. Maybe the cookhouse, but for whatever reason, maybe it was stupidity, maybe it wasn't. I'm looking to create some copper bars and then create some barrels in this settlement. And for that reason, I'm going to do something kind of stupid and buy the +2 to every copper bar created perk. It's actually an insane perk because normally you produce like what, 2 copper bars on each craft, so that literally will double our copper bar production. Like I said in other videos, perks +1, +2 perks are not created equal. So for instance, getting +2 to porridge production, if you can see on the right center, it only increases porridge production by 20% because we're already creating 10 porridge. Getting +2 to something like planks, bricks, fabric is insane because you only produce 2, so that's like 100% increase instead of a 20% one. And you would be surprised because sometimes they cost very similar amounts at the traders, these 2 perks. We are getting low on fuel, so even though we have beavers and we are on a decent map, it's a normal map for wood, I guess. It's not Royal Woodlands. I'm not really sure why I said it's a decent map for wood. We're gonna slap down a coal mine. That's gonna help us out a great deal. And we're gonna get a head start on this quest. We're gonna throw down a bunch of decorations so we can increase our hearth level. This, I'm not sure about you guys, but I always, sometimes, not always, but sometimes I have like a dirty looking, whatever, disgusting looking corner where I just throw in all the decorations. You can just stay there, decorations, just throw down a bunch of walls or pipes or whatever, and it's gonna be fine, okay? You don't need to worry about it, because otherwise you just have to move around decorations all the time. And what you notice there, your favorite Against the Storm YouTuber just learned about the, you know, consumption control. So now I'm like min-maxing, you know, consumption control, because to be honest, at higher prestige levels you do need to X out, decline, prevent your species from eating before the storm, so you can have enough resources for the storm, or, you know, to generate. Just sometimes you just abolish a certain resource, and then once you have enough resources, just enable everything to generate resolve, right? The worst thing that can happen is your species eating and drinking and using whatever clothes they want all the time, and just being just, you know, just under the resolve generation threshold. That's the worst thing that can happen. They're eating and drinking and all that complex food and whatever for no reason at all. Now I mess up really badly. I forget about the stupid hearth corruption and multiple villagers die. And by the way, I don't want to spoil you, but this isn't the first time I do it in this. This isn't the last time I do it in this settlement. Now the reason why this really sucks, guys, is getting free level 3 hearths is not just about the decorations, okay? It's not just about the building materials cost. For free level 3 hearths, you do need 60 villagers, and if the hearth gets corrupted, you're just not gonna have enough villagers to complete this stupid quest, right? Now we get offered my favorite cornerstone, Ancient Pact. It reveals all the glade resources, and for a small cost of just killing one villager every time you cut into a glade. Hopefully I don't pick that one, because again we do need the 60 villagers, but I have a inkling feeling that we do pick Ancient Pact, because at this point we are still, you know, hunting for some specific resources. Oh, what did I pick? I didn't pick Ancient. Okay, it's Mark of the Sealed Ones. Mark of the Sealed Ones is a completely useless cornerstone in the early levels, okay? What I love about this game is, even though the new prestige levels ridiculously increase the difficulty of the game, it actually makes all of these stupid cornerstones that don't really have any use at all before extremely useful. So the cornerstone that we just picked up will... Oh yeah, sorry, I thought it was the one that increased the hearth resistance. It's actually even better. So, we found a temple in the Dangerous Glade. The temple's ability, unlike the monastery that just decreases hostility by 100, so one exact level, for every 200 resources sacrificed in the Ancient Hearth, the temple will decrease hostility by 25. So for... you get this to the same level as a monastery for sacrificing 800 resources, which is a lot, you know. Even though the Reddit community is in love with the temple, I find it really difficult to produce oil and other stuff like that to get consistently as good hostility reductions as the monastery. However, we just picked up a cornerstone that helps with that. So the cornerstone that we just picked up, as long as the Ancient Hearth is corrupted, all the resources that we sacrifice in the hearth will burn for twice as long, technically. What does corruption mean? Well, it's literally, if you check in the... right there where my finger is pointing on the screen, as long as it's above 0%, the hearth is being corrupted, so that's okay. I don't know why my camera seems a bit slow. It's okay now. We're gonna throw down a second hearth. Remember we created this little hub area for the farm, the temple, the Dangerous Glade event, and we also found, even though we have a farm for spices, we found some large spice herbs, and we'll be able to actually collect that as well on top of the farm, which sounds a bit stupid, but we just get a bunch of provisions from it anyways, and I'm pretty sure you can turn the herbs into provisions, or maybe it's pack of crops, I don't know, but it's, you know, even more stuff to sell, so it's alright. Now the guild house looks really inviting for similar trading settlement as the previous episode, but of course we get offered a temple, which is completely useless, but we're just gonna reroll. Now the provisioner is something that we like because we already have a way to create... oh, never mind, the provisioner doesn't create tanks, but flour, right? We want something that can create flour, so finally, after 4 years, maybe we can start creating the stupid biscuits. The first cornerstone that I picked up was about that, so pretty late on that, but we're just gonna pick up the herbalist camp, I guess, instead. We don't have too much food, but like I said, the herbalist camp will help us gathering these large herb nodes, even though we have a farm for it. That's okay. We have a really vertical settlement, and it's gonna get even more vertical because we are about to cut into the Forbidden Glade in the top right corner. Now we don't have oil to sacrifice in the Ancient Hearth for the previously mentioned temple reasons, but we do have a coal mine, so at the very least, even if we have high hostility, throughout the storm we can just sacrifice a bunch of wood, a bunch of coal, so I'll try to get onto this as soon as possible, though the beavers do help with the more production on these resources. And we get the best building finally for flour, that being the rain mill, 3-star flour production, so we can finally create some biscuits, hopefully, but it's still gonna take a little bit more time. I messed up again because we got a bunch of blight rot again. I'm not really sure if it was because of the prestige that just instantly gives you blight rot, but we started at like 0%, and now it went up to like 230%, but our, you know, beavers are doing their best, but we don't have enough fuel to burn all of them. When you have blight rot, I used to have this rule where you should have 1 blight post for every 100% blight rot, so at 300% you should have 3 blight posts, but that's not entirely true. Most of the time actually goes with creating the fuel. So as long as you have one blight post and you have created enough fuel, so if you have 16 blight rods, you created 16 fuel, those 3 workers will be able to protect your harp pretty well, you know, even if it's 200 or 300% corruption. Like, you don't need multiple blight posts as long as you plan ahead and you create enough fuel. However, we are pretty much out of fuel completely. We used all the wood, we used all the coal, and we really needed it for the blight post as well, but we are going to be just fine. None of our species are leaving, and we just got more newcomers that I instantly accept, and our beavers are going to be leaving soon, so good job, Two-Siders. We cut into the Forbidden Glade, and believe it or not, it's filled to the brim with loot caches. So it would be a good idea at this point to create a bunch of copper, not just for the stupid barrel containers, but to create tools, right? Now look how close we were to another stupid corruption event. Pretty much like 95%, right? More than that, like, Jesus Christ. But then we survive into the drizzle season with 71% corruption. And we do find sharp sickles as well that will like almost, maybe not double, but will increase our herb production by quite a lot. Though I like the other option as well, flame amulets, reducing the hostility from woodcutters. All of these are fine, even cannibalism, to be honest. And finally deliver this stupid order where we had to cut into 5 glades at the end of the stupid game, right? Actually, it was just 2 glades, so it's even worse. And now we get another order to cut into 4 dangerous glades. Jesus Christ, game. We find a butcher that can create jerky that none of our races really eat. But it can also create skewers that is super useless too, actually, because we have the cookhouse or whatever. And a destroyed cage of the war beast, which will offer us more jerky production that, again, we don't need at all. Sir Renvold Redmane visits us, and you know which perk I'm really looking forward to. 20% to all food production, including gathering. Get a lot of blood flowers in the settlement, unfortunately, because of the war beast cage. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, what, they were carrying around a giant blood flower. How did it survive in the cage? It's a freaking flower. These building options are kind of whatever at this point. We were 3-star, but we have 2-star fabric production anyways. I'm just gonna go with the market, because like I said, we need 3 hearths. Might as well get 3 service buildings, I guess. It's alright. Remember, part of the quest is also that we have to win by year 9, which is extremely achievable, but then again, we are already in the end of year 5, so we'll have to hurry up and win this game, damn it. If you look at the top left, my consumption control is pretty alright. Like, yes, it takes me some time to notice that, I don't know, frogs are not at the resolve threshold, so I turn off the food stuff from them, but the fact that I'm using consumption control is such a big milestone in the lifespan of an Against the Storm player that I'm just proud of it. And I hope you are as well. All of these building options, I guess I'm just gonna pick the fishing hut, because we did find a large fishing camp. It doesn't really matter at this point. Scales will be good to create boots for foxes and the frogs. Still cannot create the stupid containers effectively in this settlement, so we're just gonna get it from the trader. One thing I wanted to mention, I don't remember the exact numbers, but there's a reason why barrels cost more than pottery. Some recipes, I don't remember which ones, actually require only 2 barrels versus 3 pottery, but not all of them, okay? It's either the porridge or the pickled goods. That's why barrels are a little bit more expensive at the trader, okay? So in special circumstances, you should always check if your recipe requires you know, fewer barrels or not, because it might be better to get barrels instead of pottery at the trader. Now, Blightrot Pruner is really funny, actually. For every 5 or 4... Yeah, never mind. When Blightrot appears in your whatever, you get 5 eggs, which is not much at all, to be honest. It's really not that great, but in later prestige levels, again, you get like dozens of blight rot. It might be okay, and you do get it every year. It's just 5 eggs is not super good. You also have the... Would be cooler if it was insects, because eggs you just get a wrench and then produce until the end of the time, right? Insects, there is no way to reproduce at all through farms, only through camps. And I posted on Reddit yesterday a topic about this, and even the termite mound that can reproduce insects, it doesn't work with the insect production perks. So some of the cornerstones are quite weak in the game, especially on maps that don't have insects as a resource to begin with, right? We are gonna throw down our third and final hearth in the dangerous glade that we just liberated all the blood flowers from. But still quite a vertical looking settlement, as you can see. It's really annoying that we're gonna have really close to 60 villagers, and you have to throw around these houses, which wouldn't be an issue because since the new patch, in case you didn't know, moving all houses is free, which is an awesome little buff that we had for this quest. However, we have frogs, so they require special housing needs. We can't just throw down a couple of basic shelters that house 3 each. Every time we get newcomers in the late game, we have to basically pre-build the stupid frog houses, and they cost a lot of bricks, right? Just in case we get frogs as newcomers. Now, we had 250% corruption, and I'm just really preoccupied with the third hearth. I just put down a bunch of decorations, right? And I didn't notice. I saw it at the corner, in the bottom left corner there, that the hearth was corrupted, and now 3 more villagers are dying, and I'm shaking my head in real life. Because again, we are trying to reach stupid 60 villager limit for the free level 3 hearths. So that's really, really bad. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to cut into as many glades as I can to accidentally get those villager camps where you can pay food, do the glade event for some food and get some extra villagers, but it's not really helping, guys. The unfortunate thing isn't even that, oh, we're gonna not complete the settlement by year 9. It's we're gonna win faster than I can do the stupid quest. Very reminiscent to the previous episode where we had to have 250 gold in the warehouse and win with that. So now I'm just throwing around the houses, the settlement, and trying to prevent our species from reaching the resolve threshold, which is crazy. The foxes are already at their maximum resolve threshold, which is even more insane. This is why I'm boosting the beavers right now. When you boost a species by 5, all the other races decrease their resolve by 5. So if you just wanna what's the word, stall the game, it's good to favor something that maybe it's already producing resolve, but then it prevents the other races, but it doesn't help. I should have turned off the consumption control, but I'm really preoccupied with this corrupted caravan, and I noticed it too late. But I pause the game, I go into consumption control, turn off everything. Jesus Christ, just turn off all this stuff. And it's not looking good, guys. If you see at the bottom center, we are pretty much 1 resolve point or reputation point off from winning the entire game, and nowhere near the level 3 hearth. We have to construct a bunch of decorations and the service building on the top corner. Look at this, we get saved so hard. We only had 50 villagers, however we get a newcomer group. 7 frogs. If you look at the right, one newcomer group has 5 villagers, the other one just has 8 villagers. at that difference. I've never seen such a massive difference in newcomers, I swear. That's gonna help us out a great deal, but still we need 10 more villagers and already winning the game really hard. And luckily we got into a small glade, we find some extra villagers. Only 2 of them, right? So we are still 8 off from 60. That's not really gonna help us, man. So I'm cutting into glades. That will also increase our hostility. However, we are at 368% hearth corruption. The storm is coming. If we got into too many glades, at that point we are not worrying about, you know, if we win too fast, then we are worrying about villagers leaving throughout the storm, because that's when all the hostility levels activate. We're almost 7 hostility. Jesus Christ, right? I just threw a bunch of villagers at the woodcutter camps. I construct the extra woodcutter camps so our hostility would increase, so that we wouldn't reach the resolve threshold and win the game preemptively. I'm constructing stupid frog houses at an insane speed because we might get newcomers. Look, we have 12 frogs that don't have a home, and even if we get 60 villagers by some miracle, okay, we need to house all of those frogs, all 60 of our villagers. So at this point I'm just panicking. You know, I didn't construct a second blight post either, so things are not looking good, guys. Foxes minus 11 resolve, frogs minus whatever 12 resolve, and now a little bit better but not by much. Blight post number 2 isn't even constructed. We cut into a glade. We find some extra villagers in the form of an event. We also find a stupid rain spirit totem that is just annoying to deal with, because if you don't deal with it, then it causes some massive issues. We are at 59 villagers. Look at the top left. It's so stupid. Okay. Still not done with the stupid decorations either. But we actually survived the storm somehow. And look at the blight. We somehow prevented 400% blight even at this prestige level. So lucky, right? But again, 1 villager off. Not looking great still. We don't want to win because all the consumption is now turned on. It takes a bit of time until the villagers, you know, stop eating the food and lose resolve. So instantly gonna boost the beavers so the frogs don't reach their resolve threshold. I rerolled a bunch of cornerstones, so maybe we get, you know, extra villagers for the from newcomer groups, but I didn't get it. I spam called traders, so maybe we get a perk for extra villagers or something, anything, man, okay? In the last second, we are constructing the stupid hearth, because guess what? The hearth wasn't constructed in the glade until now, right? We still need more stupid harmony decorations. And it's not even the glade event that saves us. It's another newcomer group. 66 newcomers. But guess what, guys? I'm throwing around houses, you know. I'm not even throwing around houses. I make the worst mistake that you can make in this situation. And I upgraded. So basically I paused the game. I constructed everything. I made sure that all 3 of these hearths have exactly 20 houses worth of people. So we didn't get into a situation like the first hearth stealing villagers from the 3rd hearth or something. Well, I make the worst mistake that you can make in this situation, and I upgraded some frog houses, so now that they house more frogs, but it steals away frogs from the 3rd hearth. So now I'm just scrambling to, you know, not win too fast until we get the level 3 hearth. And we lose the level 3 hearth from the number 3 hearth at the top right? Actually, it wasn't even frog houses, it was beaver houses. I upgraded those beaver houses, as you saw just then, to include more beavers. So now I'm stealing beavers from the 3rd hearth to the 1st one. And I just in the last second, the very last second, I don't know how, I just checked just to make sure we don't have level 3 on that stupid hearth. Luckily I paused the game. And now I'm just playing Tetris with myself, throwing around these stupid houses between the hearths. And luckily in the top right you can see it's 3 out of 3 hearths at level 3. I'm not touching anything. And we win. First Prestige 9 win, and we get the objective done. Thank God, I almost just messed everything up for myself. So, thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Against the Storm content, and comment frogs so the algorithm boosts the video. Maybe you want to check out this video next.